Yeah, how you doing, everybody? It's what day is it? It's Wednesday, the 23rd of June 2010. I've been away for a while. Had to go off and do some work, try and earn some money for myself. I don't like dealing with these mundane matters, but needs must, unfortunately. So I got back at the weekend. I was away in Europe. I spent a lot of my time in libraries and such like. Wasn't bad. No, if it's this time of the year, normally it's not good because normally the sun's shining outside, but for a lot of the time it wasn't. Very heavy rain in Europe. Lots of people lost their lives. Anyway, where I was heavy rain, but nobody lost their life. I had a very interesting experience last Friday night. What happened was I was coming home on a Saturday, and one of the people who employed me while I was away, I was doing work for him, and he thanked me for doing the work. He paid me, and he gave me a ticket, and the ticket was for a major social event in Europe, and I didn't realise when I was going to it. He told me to dress up for it. I knew what it was because it said it on the ticket, obviously, and he knew I liked that sort of thing. So anyway, I went along, and it was fascinating. All the elite of Europe were there, all the good and the mighty, and I think out of jest, the man had given me some of the best tickets that were that were available, and I ended up in among, I'd say I had the third or fourth best seat in the house in this place, and there were thousands of people there, and I was in with the super elite. I was right in the middle of them. I was immediately behind the president of this particular country, and I was in the middle of these super elite, and it was all fascinating. It gives me a great insight into them, and I learned a little bit about it. I enjoyed myself, obviously. The man who gave me the ticket wanted to know what I thought about it when it was finished. I told him it was wonderful. I enjoyed myself thoroughly, but I did learn a lot from watching these elite, as it were, at play. They were all there with a lot of them with their trophy wives, and the big social event for them. They didn't know who I was sitting in the middle of them all. I was as well dressed as they were, but they were just intrigued that I was a face they didn't know, as it were, especially in these particular seats. Lots of their bodyguards were looking at me and wondering who I was and how I ended up with this particular seat. And on 2 occasions, the people who organised the event came over to check my ticket to see that I had the right to sit in the seat. But I understand that, but it's neither here nor there. But just watching these people, it was fascinating. They're definitely unbelievable. You could sense about them that they realise something very big is happening in the world. I sensed that about them anyway. They were quite nervous, and maybe they're like that all the time. But the 2 things that struck me was, first of all, their arrogance. That's number 1, their total arrogance. And also their almost salacious behaviour. That they truly are an extraordinary crowd of people. And the other thing that was on their part, and then on the other part was the people that they employ, their bodyguards and the political police who look after them, how they deferred to them. How these are ordinary people paid just a jumped up minimum wage. They're not paid any extraordinary. And the attitude of these elite towards these people, and these people's attitude towards the elite, the people that employ them, and it was truly sickening. The whole thing was truly sickening. So it just gave me a fuller insight into the difficulties that we face. And I've put a little notation on the front of this as basically what I think we have to do as ordinary people if we want to address this situation. We have to stop lying. It's number one, because we're surrounded by lies propagated by the media, by the church, by the state. And we have to stop. We have to stop being part of that, and we have to stand up and speak out. That's what we have to do. They do not like that. On several occasions, I had asked these people to get out of my way because they were blocking where I was going, and they did everything but spit on me. They didn't, obviously, but they did everything but that, because I chose not to walk around them. I chose for them to get out of my way. They were blocking the pathway in the corridors where this event took place, and I had to challenge them on a couple of occasions. And I think that's the way we have to deal with these people. Wherever they are, we have to challenge them. You see it an odd time on YouTube. There's a guru. I don't particularly like his politics. However, as I've said before, he's a Democrat and he's a constitutionalist, and I have to agree with him there. This fellow Alex Jones, and he bullhorns them when he arrives, and they do not like that. That's in your face. Stand up, speak out. That's in your face. But you don't need a bullhorn to do it. All you have to do is assert yourself, assert your rights. They go around with this attitude that we're all serfs, that we're all bits of dirt, that we're all to be crushed, that we have no, in their eyes, they own everything and control everything. They do, they control 83% of it. You must never forget that. This is a game we're in, the game of life. We're squeezed into this game at birth, but the game is already going on. The laws and the rules of the game have already been laid down historically through centuries and centuries and centuries. You cannot change those rules. If you think you can, you will be crushed. You're dreaming if you think you can change those rules. You can't change those rules. You're forced into life. The game is on. You have to play by the rules that already exist. And when you get to 70 or 80, you're taken back out again and thrown into a box. That's life. And while the game is going on, they play for 83% of the game. You only play for 17% of the game. What it's worth. Must never forget that. Must never, ever, ever forget that. And anybody else who tells you anything else is a liar and is deluding you. That is the reality. There's no getting away from that. I saw that on Friday night right in your face. These people own it all. They own everything. They think they own you as well. You've got to stand up and speak out. Because if you don't, they will crush you eventually. They will. Stand up, speak out. Let your voice be heard. I'm going to talk.